I just hope that the grass comes back in this lake, and I don't know how it's going to happen unless they do something crazy with the spray program. But usually it doesn't go away. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, is that you? Yeah, he's down.
Okay.
There you go, he's coming at you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, another good one. Ah, darn.
Well, this one keeps coming out.
Nice bass. Some good bass here, so 4 or 5 pounds. You know, Chris, hey folks, I'm gonna introduce you to my fishing partner. Okay, what do you think? Hey, that's a good bass too. That thing went down, that's another 4 or 5 pounder.
That might be almost the best one yet. Yeah, I think.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Hey folks, let me introduce you to my fishing partner. This is Professor Chris Yogerst. And Chris is my social media guy, and he has been working, we've been working together for how long?
A while now.
I don't know, 10, 15 years or so. And
something like that.
And another nice big 4 or 5 pound bass. And we're starting to catch them pretty good on shiners. Okay, now Chris, you've written a book. Tell us about the book.
Well, this last book I wrote was a book about the Warner Brothers. So that's the founding brothers of the movie studio that we're all familiar with. And why I wanted to write this book is that the family of the brothers and the Warners is actually even more fascinating and wild than the story of the movies and the celebrities and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they were involved in politics and philanthropy, and they were connected with FDR and Harry Truman, and there's a much bigger story.
So there's some crazy stuff going on.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely crazy stuff. You know, every family you think of the nice bright part, but I guess there's a lot of crooks and crannies in
there. Yeah, they were great to a lot of people, but they fought each other a lot.
Okay. So your book's doing good.
Yeah, it's doing well. It's doing well.
That's good. How does someone get the book?
It's on really any of the websites, Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. Some of the independent stores will have it.
So what's the name of the book?
It's just called The Warner Brothers.
The Warner Brothers. By Professor Chris Yogerst. And Chris is also, you teach social media at the University of Wisconsin.
At University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and at Marquette I'm teaching media studies classes. So it's a range of intro to mass media to film history and things like that.
Well, about 20 years ago, Chris and his mom and dad would come down here to Okeechobee, and you were just a teenager. You were just, I don't know, 15 years old. And you'd come down and fish with Walt Reynolds and I. And you're quite familiar with the Lake Okeechobee, and you have the condo over at Fort Myers.
Yeah, my parents live over at Fort Myers. And
so now you're married, and you have how many children?
Just one.
Just one, okay.
But she loves fishing.
But last year, did we ever light them up? Hey, that was a good deal. I took Chris to the headwaters, and we went out in the morning and caught some rattletrap fish, but then that afternoon, we got the shiner deal going. Yep. Hey, it was big time. We had all these fish like we've caught. We had a ton of them.
Like this. We finally found, took all afternoon, we found one pocket. It was they were just ready to go.
Well, let's get after them. We'll go bait up again and try to get a couple more. The fish are biting. Oh, this one's down. There's Rod. Let's pick it up.
I'm stuck.
He's got it.
All right, I'll let you go.
He's got it. Okay, he's got one. Oh, he's got a good one on. Oh my God. It's a great big one. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, son. What you got, son?
That's better.
That's a good one. He about took the daggone rod out of it.
I know it.
That's a big old 5 pounder.
There we go.
That's a good one. The rod was going out of the boat.
I saved it.
I was talking to Tyler, my editor. That's a good one.
There we go.
That's a good bass. I think we're on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a good one. That's close to 5 pounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was really good. the old rod is about going.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the click, so you don't know unless you're watching it.
I just happened to see it go under. Then I saw the rod.
We would have heard it just plop in there.
Yeah.
Down.
Okay. Good one.
There we go. Now we're going.
Good one.
Right direction.
Yeah, now we're right direction, son. Another 4 or 5 pounder. Yes, sir. That's a good bass. That's a good bass, son. Woo! Yeah, now we're talking. Big old 4 or 5 pounder. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about, folks. And what it was, the whole secret of this whole shiner deal is, I really think this, I gotta show you something that's kind of cool. This isn't just a regular float. I'm gonna drop this one back. It's a beautiful bass. Okay, this is, look at this float for a second. This is a little bit different. Look, I got a weight on there. Look at that. I got a little 3/16 ounce weight. Now what that's doing, it sounds crazy, but I'm throwing that bait in there so it catches in the weeds, and the whole thing's caught on the weeds up here, and now the shiner's down below it, right at the thing, and he's not swimming out like so often. If you throw it out from the weeds, it'll drift down because there's a current coming through here and the wind's coming through here. But I'm trying to just pin it into the grass and actually be in the grass a little teeny bit. So that's kind of the key to it. The other key is, of course, using a, in this case, I'm using a big wide gap 4/0 circle hook. It's kind of a circle hook that we're using a lot. But anyway, 65-pound test braid, and we're getting the job done, catching them. On this island. Ooh, there he is. What you go on? What you got, guy?
On the top water.
Top water.
Look at that.
Oh, it's
and an actual bass.
That's good. Oh, top water plug.
Yeah.
Hey, way to go, son. Cool.
That's definitely a good sign.
That's good. Top water time.
My favorite time.
We've had a couple strikes. Had a worm strike and a couple shiner strikes and a top water strike. I've taken those big smallmouth spinnerbaits and.
Oh yeah, he's going, he's going, he's going. Stay buttoned up. Oh. Ow!
Catfish.
Another one of those.
A catfish.
Oh, that one's a catfish this time, yeah. Well, we've got all the species covered.
Yeah, a catfish. How about that, folks? A catfish. Big one, too. Well, he took off with it big time, didn't he? Look at that thing.
Went straight under there.
About 8 or 10 pounds.
You know, pliers?
Holy.
Here you go.
Ah, if I can grab them. Sometimes, I think I'm just gonna grab his hook like this.
Yeah.
And just turn them like this. And just do this. Okay, I got him. Big old catfish. That's not a good sign. Boy, he took it. Where'd the other one go?
Yeah, I don't see that one.
Oh, he was down or something. Chris and I had an interesting thing happen. We were fishing, what was the name of that lake, Chris, that we fished together?
In Wisconsin?
Well, I don't know the name of it, but it's your home lake. But anyway, what was so cool, we put the power poles down.
Yeah.
And what happened, I had an underwater camera. We didn't think too much about it. We just happened to throw something over the back of the boat. I think we had a bite or something. And we looked on the camera, and all of a sudden, there's 4 or 5 bass sitting there looking at the power pole was down on the rocks, and it was making it was scratching around, it was making doop, 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 making some scratchy sounds. And the bass were right there about a foot away from it, looking at it. And remember, we took some lures and dropped right down by the power pole, and we caught 2 or 3 of them. Just on a little worm or something.
And I think we put the camera down because we weren't finding anything, and we're like, well, let's just see if there's any in here. And it's like, there they are.
Yeah, they were right there at the power pole.
Right here.
They were looking at the power pole, and it was making a scratchy sound on the rock, and they were right there. That was so cool.
That was great. Yeah, that lake's doing well. It's putting out a lot of muskies.
So you're getting what size of the muskies you catch?
I've been catching them anywhere from like 35 inches to 45 inches, which is a pretty good muskie.
That's pretty big.
But there's people that are coming quite a few a year in the 50-inch plus range, which is like real trophy.
That's
it's like
50
catching a
inches
10-pound bass.
It's over 30 pounds. Yeah. That's a big one.
They're in there.
50-inch muskie something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one. It's a big one. I'm going to land it over the left side where they can see it. Oh boy. Yeah. That's a good one there, boys. About a 6 or 7. Woo! That's what we're talking about, folks. Come on down to Lake Okeechobee and catch yourself a monster bass like this in the 7 to 8 pound class. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about, folks. That is a big bass. Huh?
Absolutely.
What do you think it is, Chris?
Nice work. That's
How big do you think it is?
It's got to be 8.
It's got to be 8 pounds. That's a good big one.
That's got to be 8.
Got to be 8 pounds. Let's see. I'm going to get a measurement of them. Well, let's see. I don't have my scale. I don't think my scale works. Let me try to scale them. I don't think it works.
Very healthy fish.
$44. I don't think it's working. See, it says 14 pounds right off the bat.
Right. Well, there, now it's zeroed out.
It's just not working. See, it says 14.8 no matter what. It's got to be an 8 pound bass.
Got to be. Well, I said my biggest is in the 7 range, and this is bigger than that. So
well, this is a big bass, folks. We'll just look at it real quick, and I don't know that the thing it hit top on the top when we first threw out there.
We saw he showed himself, or she showed herself.
My scale is broken, but that's got to be an 8 pound bass.
Definitely.
I'm gonna call it 8 for sure, because we have a Florida trophy catch as well here, and so and if you get the length and the girth measurements, but the thing is I don't have a scale that'll kind of back it up. But that is a huge trophy bass right there, son. You know, every day, I don't know that I've done this every day, but almost every day I get a bass over 7 pounds. Mm-hmm. Now I've had 2 others this week in the 8 pound class. This is another 8 pounder. And so I'm telling you what, folks, Okeechobee's alive and well. You're talking about 8, that might even be 9.
It's a big fish.
It's at least 8 pounds.
Definitely, definitely 8.
We found that was bigger than what we caught last year.
Yes, at Headwaters.
At Headwaters. Well, I'm going to go ahead and release it and be caught again another day. And unfortunately, my scale is all it's reading is 14 pounds. And I don't think it's 14.
Not 14.
So I'm going to go ahead and release it right now. Big old giant 8 pound bass, son. That's what it's all about right there. Boom. Woo! Thank you, Chris. Professor Chris Yogerst and his book.
The Warner Brothers.
The Warner Brothers. And also, you do all the social media work for a couple different colleges now, a couple different universities.
Yeah.
So that's good. And you do my social media.
I do your social media.
So anyway, folks, we've had a good time, and we finally caught a big bass or 2. It's Shiner Fishing's where it's at. Lake Okeechobee's alive and well. Hey, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.